ABC, happy Friday. Back again, another video, that time of the week. I, this week didn't, well, I was about to say I didn't really buy that much, but really my stack looks about as big as every other week. But I think that might just be because, let me start over. I only bought 5 things, I think, if I can count. Yeah, I think that's 5. The rest of these are some stuff I've been listening to recently, at least on vinyl. I listen to music at work. I'm able to have headphones in all night, so I'm either listening to music or podcasts or something like that. So I don't only listen to music on vinyl, but whenever I'm home and I've got some time, don't really have anything to do and just kind of sit back and chill, I put on a record. I typically, honestly, I don't really like to have things as quote-unquote background music. Whenever I listen to music, especially on vinyl, I like to actually sit down and kind of concentrate on it. Granted, it's not like I'll be completely strict about that and put my phone away and turn out the lights and everything like that. Like, I had a music teacher tell me he would do that kind of thing when listening to music, which I can get that maybe with the first time, but whenever I'm listening to something for the first time, honestly, I think work is actually a better environment for me, at least, because I don't really have to think too hard about my job. I can just kind of mindlessly go through motions and I can really concentrate on the music then, and lyrics, and the more intricate details of new music. Anyways, I took a trip out to Doc's this weekend. For those who don't know, Doc's Records, Fort Worth is one of my favorite stores. They offer a lot of, definitely most of the punk and alternative stuff that I see in DFW is at Doc's. I don't know where they get all of it. I would like to figure that out, but no other store really seems to get it quite as consistently as they do. So since that has been the kind of thing I've been looking for a lot lately, I've been going there more frequently. So I think I've gone there at least once or twice this month already, but I went again this weekend. Picked up 2 45s there. I'll just go ahead and show the first one. This is the Dead Kennedys, Bleed For Me. The B-side is Life Sentence. This is pretty cool. This is a UK single. It's pressed in the UK. Really nice shape on the original Alternative Tentacles label. You can see the small spindle hole. Normal black vinyl. Typical Dead Kennedys. Pretty aggressive, political lyrics. This is a cool find. They recently, in the 45 section in the back of the store, added a whole new category of boxes. One of them being, they had a couple new categories. I think they separated hardcore punk out from normal punk, and then they added a specific 90s alternative and indie section, so that's pretty cool. Out of there, I picked this up. This is a cool deal. This is Blind Melon, No Rain. The B-side is Tons of Home. It's on this purple capital label. You see this a lot from Capitol, anywhere through I think they started using this as early as maybe the 80s. The dome, the logo. The song No Rain, everybody kind of knows from the 90s. That's definitely their big hit. I'm not sure about other countries, but in the US, we're kind of a one-hit wonder with No Rain. If you look that song up, you'll recognize it in the first 10 seconds. LPs there, they always have stuff from previous record store day in years past, and they get more and more marked down as time goes on, and they just recently marked this down to $4.99, so I had to pick it up. This is Grizzly Bear's album, Horn of Plenty. If you don't know Grizzly Bear, they're kind of in slightly experimental alternative rock band. I would compare them most closely to Radiohead, kind of in that same vein of ambitious kind of rock music, but it is on this cool splatter vinyl. It's like clear with black. It kind of matches the artwork, which is not that hard whenever your artwork is basically black and white already. But I thought it was cool. And for $5, I really couldn't pass this up. And they still had tons of copies of this, so if anyone wants a copy for $5.99, let me know. I'll grab one for you. I'm sorry, $4.99, that's what I meant. And then last from Docs, I picked up the Star Wars soundtrack. I'm a huge Star Wars fan. Pretty big sci-fi fan in general, not that Star Wars is strictly sci-fi. But yeah, let me start over. My dad has, he saved a bunch of records from when he was, still playing vinyl back in the day. Mostly his New Order collection, Joy Division, and some old soundtracks like the Star Wars stuff. He has every single one. The thing is, they're not in the best condition. He definitely played the crap out of them, and he was a kid whenever he owned them, so he, like any kid would treat a record, that's how he treated them. So he's better now, don't worry. I know he watches these, so you're welcome for the shout out, Dad. But this was in super nice condition. Probably too good to pass up. It came with all 3 inserts, which I'll show those in a minute, but pretty nice. There's the back cover. Pretty cool. Pretty simple gatefold. Screenshots from the movie. Both albums come in this, it's a double album set. They both come in this 20th Century Records sleeve. Pretty simple logo on the label. Super, probably like VG Plus vinyl. Cover's nice and glossy. No, I mean, it's got a little bit of the beginnings of some ring wear, but in general, you can't really tell unless you hold it up to the light at a certain angle. It looks pretty good. And the inserts, I had never seen 2 of these before. It came with this thing. You could buy a Star Wars shirt back when the movie came out. It has this this thing. I think this was written by John Williams, if I'm not mistaken, where he's just kind of going over each track and kind of talking about its theme and how it relates to the movie and what he was really going for in terms of really. John Williams is just kind of, he's a master of writing soundtracks. I think Star Wars is one of the best soundtracks ever. And most of its closest competition is other John Williams soundtracks. So, he wrote like the Indiana Jones theme and the Harry Potter theme, the entire Jurassic Park, like all the main themes. Every single piece from Star Wars. I think he wrote some stuff for the Star Trek movies. He just was super prolific, and you've definitely heard his music before. It also came with the poster, which I won't unfold the whole thing because it's actually kind of big, but it's that like Death Star concept art poster with like the starfighters flying around. I've seen that before in non-poster form, but I've always wanted that poster because I knew it originally came with this soundtrack, as advertised by some hype stickers on the front of like sealed copies of this. But yeah, super excited to finally own that, even though I technically had a copy before, but now that one's officially mine, and it's probably a keeper, so yeah. Last thing I bought, Iggy and the Stooges Raw Power. I went to Half Price Books, as I normally do, at least once a week, and as I was there, the guy that operates the vinyl section was putting out some new records. I was just asking if he had anything cool in like the punk side of things, as that's what I'm looking for, and he showed me this, and super glad that he did, because I've never actually seen a copy of any version of this in any record store. So I'm super happy to own this. This is a UK pressing. I think it's from '77. It is still that kind of infamous David Bowie mix of this recording. So yeah, I put it on my table. It doesn't have the best sound quality. I had to kind of mess with the EQs a little bit, but once you sort that out, it sounds pretty nice. Especially this is super clean. It's on this kind of interesting CBS label from the UK. I've never owned one of those before. And the classic UK inner sleeve with the like the patent number and everything. Cover's got a little bit of wear, but nothing too crazy. I had to re-glue the bottom seam across here. The classic just kind of came apart unglued. And it has this import sticker here I've never seen before. It says imported by, I think it's Peters International. I don't know the deal with that. I guess they're from the 70s, buying records from the UK and selling them here. And the things I've been listening to recently, I played Raw Power. I wanted to listen to something similar. MC5, classic debut Kick Out the Jams. They're both from Detroit. They're both like proto-punk. This one goes a little more on the freak out side of proto-punk, but still cool nonetheless. This is a later pressing, so it does have the censored opening of Kick Out the Jams. Slightly disappointing, but originals go for like hundreds, so I'm happy with that for now. Next up, this band called Slynt and their album Spiderland. This is kind of a classic 90s. I see them mostly described as I guess I would even say they have some emo tinges, but they're like a little bit of emo. What's the word I'm looking for? I guess just alternative. They kind of remind me of Modest Mouse in ways. They have a little post-rock. I guess that would be like proto post-rock, because they were kind of out before post-rock was really a thing. They'll have long stretches of just constant build-up with no vocals, just building up or repeating the same guitar parts over and over again. They can be slightly heavy at times. They can be really quiet and suspenseful at times. And for a little while, I never really got this record. I mean, like, understood it fully. And then one day it just kind of clicked with me, where it was like, oh yeah, that actually is a good record. And so I just went out and bought it. You know, you can find this pretty much anywhere for like 13, 14 bucks. Pretty simple packaging. I mean, there's not even really an insert. It just kind of comes in this plastic kind of sleeve, and I think maybe I've had a download code. I don't remember, or maybe not. But yeah, standard package, good record. If you haven't heard it before, go listen to it. I don't know if I mentioned, kind of remind me of early Modest Mouse, maybe a little. What's that band? I feel like I have a CD by them that I can't remember who I'm thinking about. They're just a good band. Just go listen. I rambled enough about them. Last up, I was listening to this last night. Slow Dive, their self-titled record from this year. This is kind of cemented its place as probably one of my favorite records of this year. It's always been kind of top 10 since pretty much as soon as it came out, but it might even be top 2 or 3 at this point. It's on Dead Oceans Records. Pretty cool gatefold. simple back cover. I don't think it has an insert or anything. No, just a download card, and I do have the limited silver vinyl. Again, kind of matches the artwork. I tend to go for I mean, it's been a trend lately to put out like a record store exclusive variant of new records that come out. Like the new National album has an indie store exclusive blue version that I wouldn't mind owning, and just tons of records come out in a special color in record stores, and this is one of them. I don't think you can get this online at the time. I mean, they're for sale now in the aftermarket, obviously, but I just kind of I think I was up to Denton for some reason that day, and I just kind of swung through what's the name of that store in there in the Denton Square? I'm blanking on it right now. Anyways, I was in there, and I just kind of wanted to go see if they had this, and sure enough, they did. Last copy, I grabbed it. The guy even commented, was like, "Oh, that's the last copy of this. Those kind of flew off the shelves, and I haven't heard it yet. So is that good?" I was like, "It's pretty good. You should listen to it. It's definitely their best since Slovakia Station, or Slovakia, whatever people call it." But it's the tracks. I don't know if I mentioned this album at all on this channel before, but the tracks, Don't Know Why, Star Roving, Sugar for the Pill, Everyone Knows. Basically, there's not really a weak moment on this entire record. This is Slow Dive, as good as Slow Dive gets, really. I mean, since the 90s, they haven't really, which they were on hiatus for a long time, but they haven't really put out any material on the same level for a long time. So that was a nice surprise for this year. I wasn't really expecting too much out of this record, and once I heard that they had gotten back together, and I heard the single they put out, I think it was Star Roving, and I was like, yeah, okay, this sounds nice. And then the full record came out, and I was just kind of like, I guess I'll listen to it on Spotify. So then I did, and I was like, wow, that was actually really awesome. So then I went immediately the next day and just grabbed the vinyl, and now I'm glad I did, because you can't really get this color anymore, and it's just a good record. So yeah, that's all I've got this week. Thanks you guys for watching. Let me know if what was I gonna ask? Oh, what do you say your favorite releases from this year so far? Do you like the Slow Dive? Who else put out new records? The National, St. Vincent's coming out with a new album. I'll probably pick that up on vinyl. I haven't heard the new Ariel Pink yet, but I've heard some good things about that. Just let me know some stuff that has come out that you guys enjoyed. Maybe some lesser known things that you think I should check out, based on some of the stuff I showed on this channel before. But yeah, thanks you guys for watching, subscribing, and I'll see you guys next time.